Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. I have an album called Hypothetical. On each episode, you will hear me break down every element in the next track on the album until I've run out of tracks. Without Us is the 10th track on Hypothetical. It was written and produced by me. It was mixed by Mac Lane, Siegel at the time. The song was mastered by Kevin Lively. This is a song that I wrote way back in high school. This is probably one of my earliest songs ever. It goes as far back as 2013, so the song is a teenager now. Without Us is a song about how terrible school is, how it's like prison, how we're forced to be there, and how education as a conceptual institution insists on itself. Very high school senior of me. However, the song has remained true after all this time, even though I went on to finish high school, went on to apply for and get into university, get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree. But yes, I hated school enough that I wrote a song about it, and it still rings true, perhaps even more true now. In the process of writing it, I tried to write like Radiohead, a tone poem kind of style, disconnected lines about the thing. In the verses, it's about the various aspects of being in school. The choruses take the point of view of the lying institution of education itself. There is no life out there before us. You won't survive out there without us. It's akin to an abusive relationship, telling the victim that they're not valuable or unable to live without the abuser. Dedicated Santiago Ramones fans will have noticed that Without Us is similar to Without from my ambient album Bloom. That's because Without is an ambient version of the song. If you want to learn more about the Bloom version, go to the Bloom podcasts and go to the third one. On Bloom, Without is just voice and drums. These drums are by Keegan Darrow. I wanted the verses to feel like a zombie march, just like they were in the Bloom version. I did push Keegan to his limits on the day we recorded the song. We recorded the tracks he played on in album order, so he had already tracked a lot of other songs by the time we got to Without Us. So I think the desperation of the song is well represented in Keegan's performance here. As with most of the album, I played the bass on this track. The bass part is unusual in that it follows the melody in the choruses. I played the guitar part. I feel like when I played this song live on acoustic, I add a sort of southwestern twanginess to it. For this, though, it's pretty straightforward. There's two piano parts on this song, an upright piano on the right and an electric piano on the left. All MIDI. They grow with the increasing desperation of the song. The first thing you hear on the song is the consistent drone of the strings. Actually, it's the last thing you hear on Late, flowing into Without Us. I made that transition because they're both in the same relative key. I wanted the strings to add to the epic tragedy of the song, but also the persistence. That drone you hear at the beginning is the same drone you hear at the end. And those same notes are playing the entire song. There's also a violin section juxtaposed against a flute section, echoing the chorus melodies between them. For the bridge, I wanted to escalate the orchestration, adding these trilling oboes and clarinets. Along with them, there's this weird little synth adding to the sharpness of the woodwinds. Continuing with more epic feelings, I added a brass section for the bridge and final chorus. I've heard this instrument pronounced two different ways, celeste or celeste, the sound of which is familiar from the Sugar Plum Fairy, of course. It evokes nostalgia and dreaminess. I mostly used it to fill in the higher frequencies of the texture. And of course, we have our password monomate, sneaking its way into the final chorus.
There is no life out there before us. You won't survive out there without us. There is no life out there.
I always imagined this song to have this call and response thing in the choruses that would complete the line. I've been performing this song by myself most of the time, so I wasn't giving the complete lines during the choruses. Before Us and Without Us are crucial to the song. Not just that there's no life out there, but that your only hope is through us, the institution of education. One funny thing is that even though I've been performing this song for over a decade, I've never imagined a harmony part to go around the main vocal. So that leads us to Sephra.
You won't survive out there.
Sephra Osborne is a singer, producer, and instructional designer. She's also a great friend and was actually a teacher I had at ACM at UCO. Back when I did the podcast for my album Bloom, she was the guest interviewer for the song Without. It was intentional then, and it's very intentional with this version too. She is the perfect person to be a guest on this song. Not only was she one of my teachers during my associates and bachelor's, but she was getting her master's at the same time I did, from the same university. At the time of recording this, she's in the middle of her PhD qualifying exam. We are the examples of educational pursuit, which is what makes it so juicy. It's so great having her on a song about how education kind of sucks. But the really real reason I got Sephra on here is because she's a great vocalist and producer. I asked her to add harmonies and anything else to the track. I made 12 separate vocal tracks with it. I shifted some things, arranged some things, but the pieces that I got from her were all up to her. Normally I try to layer the instrumental underneath the vocals since most vocalists are embarrassed to hear their parts all alone. But since Sephra is well acquainted with a cappella, let's marvel at the beauty of her vocal by itself.
Survive out there.
Admittedly, the bridge having no lyrics might have been for a lack of having something different to say. But if we're following the contour of the song, the bridge is a sequence of increasingly pained screams, the desperate wailing of someone trapped in the endless cycle of the institution. We were told from when we were young that we must have an education in order to become anything in life. If we don't, we'll be poor and hopeless. What's become increasingly clear is that the institution of education has become less and less relevant. Our degrees don't seem to matter anymore. There's no guarantee of economic sustainability from a degree. For most people, what was supposed to be a rope to climb out of underprivileged conditions has become a noose. Student debt has become a lifelong, crippling financial burden on everyone that was told that their education would help them find a way out. Lots of people find themselves stuck on the proverbial wheel because of it. Go to a job irrelevant to your degree and pay a little more student debt, and keep that zombie walk going forever. Here's Without Us in its entirety.
Born and raised, stay every day, infant to adult, never see anything else. The imprisoned don't know any better. This is all I know. This is all I know. There is no life out there. You won't survive out there. There is no life out there. You won't survive out there. Without us, without us, without us, without us. Your worth is a letter you try and make better. Crime info to break and sleep through the pain. The death bell tolls and you're done with that. To the next hole, you don't know where you're at. Ridicule and abuse, those better than you. Those words
Thank you for listening to Bit Depth. You can listen to Hypothetical wherever you stream music, or preferably, you can buy Hypothetical on Bandcamp. I also have made-to-order merch on my website. Direct financial support will always be better than what streaming can provide. You can also use your voice to tell others that you like what I'm doing. That doesn't cost money. My website is the place where you can find all things Bit Depth and all things Hypothetical. So please go to santiagoramones.com to get the full experience. Link is in the description. Love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong.